Hey, and thank you for clicking play. Last in my little mini series of the Pi 400, I think, for good reason. So we had a look at it over the last couple of weeks at what a noob thinks of the Pi 400 and messing about in essentially Linux operating system. Completely green, in all honesty. And it really is thanks to Chris Edwards. So I will pop a link in the description to his video where he basically has all the links in the description of his video for getting PiMiga 1.5 working. And that's what is on here, okay? And look, even just while we're talking here, watch. I'm gonna turn this off. Function F10. It's off. Okay. I'm going to take out the SD card that's in it. So what's on here is PiMiga 1.5. This is 128 gigabyte micro SD card. PiMiga 1.5 Mother Fracker Edition, as Chris Edwards calls it. I'm going to throw that in the SD card slot at the back. And let's boot this up and watch this. Make sure we've got a bit of volume. It's a black screen. No, wait. It's coming, I promise. Oh, please work. Come on.
PiMiga.
PiMiga. Comes up with a couple of different load screens here. The other one is like a lens flare thing around the Amiga bouncing ball. These are random desktop things as well. My screen doing the same thing as I showed you last week, so I have to quickly go into menu on my screen. This has nothing to do with the Pi, this is my screen as detailed last week. Just a idiosyncrasy of my screen, change that to just scan, and then everything fits on the screen. Let's get Maria Witter Cave out the way again. That will go away. I can make it go away quicker. And now what we've got, and I'll move you closer so we can have a better look, we have got Amiga Workbench running on the Raspberry Pi 400. Right, let's have a look. So first and foremost, this is the desktop, or this is Workbench. You can change the background. This is a rotating background, but you can change the background. This is weird, it doesn't do anything. You have to click on, maybe this is a Workbench thing. I have to click on something in Workbench, and then I have access to my tools up the top. If I go down to patterns, then, you know, I can change. I'm actually finding that I have to go to mixed. If I go to pictures, it actually doesn't give me a picture. It cycles through the textures or patterns. So, don't know. But if you go to mixed, which is a mix of everything, of course, patterns and mixed, hopefully we'll get a nice picture. And there's some beautiful pictures that Chris has put in there. There's thousands. There's absolutely thousands. There we go. That's a nice. We'll just live with that, because otherwise we could waste time just changing, a bit like last week's video, really. So all I'm going to do is really show you what I've been playing about with, and getting into the point of why have something like this. For me, I've got a real Amiga 500. Okay, I can just load stuff up onto floppy disk or whatever, and I'm up and away. And I can get ADFs onto here, that's not a problem. I can test ADFs on Amiga forever, and that's probably still going to be my preferred method, because it's nice and easy for me to get them across from the PC onto a floppy disk for the real A500. So that's not what it's about. It's not about replacing this real original hardware. For me, I don't have any experience of an A1200 and A4000. Again, you could do all that in Amiga forever. In here, it's nice and easy. If I go function F12, that brings up the menu, and you can see in here, so this is the emulator menu. This is where you can configure and load things into your floppy drives, load ADF images and stuff like that. But you can see the chips that it's set up with. So out of the box, it's set up as an AGA. Basically, it's set up as a fast A1200, and that's of interest to me. Even running as a 68030, if we do a speed test in sysinfo, it's actually running as a very accelerated Amiga 1200. Here's a standard Amiga 1200 here. So that's cool. Okay, so I can test that kind of stuff without having one. What else can I do? Well, for me, the demo scene's quite big. I was never really into the demo scene, but there's a demo player here, iDemo, and that's got thousands of stuff from the demo scene, so I could go through that to my heart's content. But in iGame, and this is where I would spend most of my time, to be honest. So this to me is a bit like having the Atari 2600 flashback. Everything's there, everything's preloaded, although I then side-loaded more stuff myself on that. I've got 1001 games on my flashback. That's what this is to me. So this is, it's not pretending to be an Amiga, but it's giving me a window into testing stuff that I don't easily have access to. Chris Edwards, what he's done is he's loaded over 4,000 games into iGame here. So I can scroll down and pretty much any game you can think of is here and it's ready to go. So getting on to my point, not having much experience with an A1200, well look, anything that says AGA, if you're not familiar, is the 32-bit chipset. So the A500 that I was used to back in the day is a 16-bit OCS or ECS. I've been learning all these things recently, you know, past couple of years. Whereas the Amiga 1200 was a 32-bit, so twice as powerful AGA chipset, okay? So anything that says AGA, I know is specifically built for the Amiga 1200. Okay, so I've got Zool here, and we've got Zool ECS, so that would be for the 16 bits. And we've also got Zool AGA. So let's have a look at the difference between the two. So I'm gonna load up ECS Zool, F10 to quit any game. So these are all preloaded, all WHD loaded, and off you go. Oh, spaces for options, no thanks. And this is where it does get a bit tricky. Okay, so I might have to go function F12 and just have a look at my input devices. And I don't have anything in port 2, so I'm going to go for, not number pad, cursor. Actually, WASD, that's probably quite nice. WASD and left out is fire. I'm sure you can configure these somehow, but I'm just using the plug and play. Okay. Right, so I just click resume. And now it's basically that is as if I've got a joystick plugged in now. Right, so alt is fire. Fire to start. And so here we go. Oh, that's fire. What's jump? Up is jump. There we go. So yeah, WASD are now pretending to be a joystick, essentially. I'm sure you understood that. I don't know what would happen if I start typing in a typing program with that set, but anyway. Right, so this is the 16-bit version, the one that would have run on my Amiga. I remember having a demo of Zool. Yeah, definitely only uses the left out. Okay, notice the background, the gradient. Okay, I noticed the sort of, I'm not sure if this has upscaling at all, but the sort of pixelation of the graphics. This is where we're going to see a difference. So remember that. Let's have a look. And also the sound effects, I think maybe they change. Not sure. Notice the music stopped. Right, let's F10 out of that. We'll go Zool AGA. Here we go. That joystick's still set up because obviously that's an emulation thing. That wasn't a menu of the game. And of course you can plug in a joystick. So these have got USB ports on the back. So you can plug in an Xbox gamepad, a PlayStation 3 or 4, PlayStation 4 I think, gamepad, whatever you want to do, or get a retro stick, you know, like one of those retro competition pros with the USB. That's probably the best way, I think. I haven't got one myself yet. And now let's have a look. Well, straight away we've got a flashy little intro there. Yeah. And now, here we go, look. So instead of the gradient in the background, we've got this fully colored thing. The resolution looks pretty similar to me. But there we go. So you can do that kind of experimentation, which is really cool. I've also got Zool's CD32 there. Not sure what the difference is. We won't go to another Zool. Now, what I could definitely run here is stuff that would no way run on my A500. Alien Breed 3D. And what I'm going to show you is Alien Breed 3D 2. There is no way on earth that my poor little A500, unless you had some really, well actually you couldn't because it was built for the AGA chipset. Out. There we go. Keep forgetting to press fire. Sorry about that. So Alien Breeds, they were the top-down shooter. Alien Breed 3D is more of a Doom clone. Now, unfortunately, oh yeah, for some reason the mouse doesn't work, but anyway, on this game, if it, there might be a way of enabling mouse support. I haven't played with it enough, but so this is like a Doom clone. Unfortunately, what I have noticed is, look, if you go function and minus, which is the keypad, you can minimize the screen and maximize. That's how you get, if you had a slower A1200, you would get it to run faster by minimizing the screen. A bit like I had to do with Doom on my first PC. I can make it bigger, but, and apparently it's a known version for, it's a known issue with WHD load. Versions that are available of Alien Breed 3D 2, it doesn't actually fill this area. This should actually fill this area, and it doesn't do that. So just a little thing, but this is great. I mean, if I was aware of the A1200 more, and I was aware of games like this, I might not have been, I mean, at the end of the day, it wasn't Doom that got me into PCs, because I wouldn't have bought a used 386DX. I'd have held out for a decent 486. It was more flight sims, to be honest. So this would have blown me away if I'd have been aware. I mean, this is fantastic. Right, so that's that. There's another game I want to look at. This will be the first time I've looked at it. There's a lot of fuss about Gloom, which again was a Doom clone. Gloom, here we go. Gloom out. Okay, let's have a look. Hopefully it's not too hard to get into. This just smacks of Doom, doesn't it? One player, two player, one player joystick. All right, we'll just go with that. Ooh, that's nasty. Oh, that's quite nasty. I can't even see my gun. Oh, that's so bad. But look, when I did eventually, I mean, Wolfenstein looked okay on my used 386DX. God, flipping heck. Straight away, even though it's all pixely, I can't talk and play at the same time because I don't want to die. Because that's the way it is. Okay. And look, I have seen some other people do videos on this, but this is my first time playing it. You can't get it off of a video. So there we go, there's a sales point. Not a sales point, no affiliation, but you could set this up for yourself on your emulator of choice and have a play. Was that the exit? That was the exit of the first level. Let's get out of that. Okay. And look, before we end the game section here, I'm going to, just for people like Steve and Lee, let's load it up. Let's listen to the music. Fantastic. They're just all there. They're just all at my fingertips. Any game I can think of is there. Now you imagine a couple of nice Competition Pro USB versions in your hand, or even your gamepad of choice. Next trip, and there will be another trip, I could just pick this up. I don't need to take a laptop. I can just take this. This is easiest to take. Take this to a mate's house, take this to the UK, visit my mate Lee, visit my mate Steve, plug this into whatever TV you've got because you've got HDMI out, and off we go. We can just play whatever game we want. That for me, that's everything. The other Pis, obviously you would need a keyboard, or you'd need to embed it in something like this, and then that's less portable. This is the modern version. That's it. Not really a fan of the size of these cursor keys, other than that, which is why I went for WASD just now. But if you've got a joystick, that won't matter. That seriously won't matter. What will matter is the fact that this isn't doing anything now. Oh, yes, it is. Some of the screen reses go a bit funny. I think it's something to do with the WHD load version. You know I'm not going to get very far. Right, here we go. Oh, you... Oh! I'm down to... What? Oh, for goodness sake. Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. Oh, not the spikes and the bloody things. I don't know. Yeah, okay. We've got a big gap to get through now. Yep. Okay, we're good. Oh, bugger. Oh, for goodness sake. It's impossible. But, do you know what? If you call this a tech demo to my face, I'm going to punch you. I probably wouldn't punch you because you can see I'm terrible at punching. But it wasn't. It was just a flipping hard game. This is so much more than a tech demo. I'm sorry. I completely disagree. I don't care if you're a developer or just a player. This was a game and this was fantastic. And it made your mates, if they didn't have an Amiga, want an Amiga. So that's what's a tech demo, I hear you say. It's not, it's a game. Look, I have control. And just because you can't beat it, doesn't mean it's not a game. It just means it's a flipping hard one. And look, now I'm just playing the game. That's so good. On this little cursor kit, that's horrible. Need a joystick. Definitely need a joystick. And look, there's just so much more that Chris Edwards has put into this. It's not just the 4,000 plus games, all the images. You've got a heap of demos in iDemo and also set up in a separate drive. I mean, you've got so much. You've got your games. You've got so much audio in the form of mods and stuff to listen to, and so many productivity applications as well. There's just way too much to be able to go through in one video. So as I get to grips with everything that Chris has bundled in, keeping in mind I was never a workbench aficionado myself anyway, then I will obviously cover some of that stuff as well down the track as I become comfortable with it. So there you go. What do you think? Is PiMiga 1.5 something you would use? Would you use it on a normal Pi 4, or would you go for something like the all-in-one form factor of the Pi 400? Also, don't forget, I mean, you could potentially use this if you're not aware of what you can do with a Pi, and I know a lot of people aren't. You could, if you've got a dead Amiga 500, you could throw, or 1200 or 600, doesn't matter. You could throw a Pi 4, which is just a tiny little board form factor. You could throw a Pi 4, that's even too big, it's probably about that big, into the case. There's solutions to do it. Use a key-RAR to plug your real Amiga keyboard into the Pi, and then you could have something that looks and feels like an Amiga and is running something like this. For me, the real draw, before I even set this up and before I even bought the Pi 400, this is one of the deciding factors, was seeing somebody like Chris Edwards when he was working on 1.4 of PiMiga, showing in the back, and often it was just in the background of his videos, The Amiga Workbench running in 1080, that was just a draw card for me, just seeing this nice high resolution modern Amiga setup. Fantastic. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking of doing. All right, cheers.